The outpost was buried in sand and static. We hadn't had clean comms in days, just desert wind and the dull churn of generators. So when the encrypted radio buzzed at 0347, it cut through the room like a scalpel. The corporal handed me the headset with a glance that said, "You're not gonna like this." "Staff Sergeant?" The voice was male, civilian, tense. "This is Officer Morales, Denver PD. We found your son asleep at the central station." I went still. "His name's Caleb, right?" A pause. Then a small voice in the background, raspy, exhausted. "He threw me out. Mom's new husband. After I stopped him from going into your room." My throat tightened. The officer kept talking, something about protocol, child protective services. I didn't hear him. I heard the war drums in my chest, heard my son's voice shake. Behind me, my commanding officer stood up slowly. "You're going home," he said. His voice wasn't kind, it was clinical, because he knew what I would do, and what I wouldn't come back from. I had trusted her, not blindly, not completely, but enough to leave my son in her care while I stared down insurgents and landmines. She called me a ghost long before I deployed, said I was always somewhere else. But I never missed a single call to Caleb, not one. She said things were good back home, said he liked the new guy, said they were bonding. I believed her. The messages stopped a few months into the tour. She said Caleb was growing distant, that it was just puberty. I swallowed it. I should have known silence was never neutral. It's a weapon, and she used it with precision. I landed stateside without ceremony, picked Caleb up from the station myself. His face was thinner, eyes guarded. He didn't say much, but I didn't need words, just facts. I called my lawyer before we even left the airport. Had him pull the home security feed, something she'd forgotten I'd wired into the house. The cameras were still synced to my cloud. What I saw wasn't abuse, not outright, but intent hides in posture, and that man, her husband, hovered too long outside my son's door. Too close, too quiet. Caleb never lied, but he had learned not to scream, because no one had listened. Until now. I didn't confront her, didn't show up at the door. I made appointments, psyche valves, police interviews, private investigators. She had painted me as absent, but I was never gone, only waiting for the right angle. And angles, like people, can break. The PI's report hit harder than any IED. Her husband had a sealed case from another state. Not abuse, but enough to raise 1,000 red flags. Photos surfaced. One with him holding Caleb too tightly at a backyard barbecue. Another, security footage, showed Caleb outside the house at midnight, locked out. Her signature was on the school's emergency contact form, listing the man as primary guardian, not me. And that was the final nail. I delivered the file to her office, didn't speak, just left the envelope on her desk while she blinked back confusion, then dread. She opened it. Her mouth didn't move for 10 seconds. Then, "Where's Caleb?" "Safe." "We can explain." "You already did." I turned and walked out before her lawyer could draft the apology. Family court was silent when the footage played. Caleb testified, calm, deliberate, not coached, just ready. He told them everything. The nights he locked his door, the silence after speaking up, how she told him not to make drama. The judge didn't even look at her when he signed the custody transfer. Full, permanent. She cried, not for what she lost, but for the image she couldn't repair. I didn't speak to her once, not in the courtroom, not outside. I sent her a box later. Inside, every Father's Day card Caleb ever made. The ones she kept from me. I had scanned them all. On top was a note. "You tried to replace me. He never let you." We moved that summer, just Caleb and me. New town, new locks. He still flinches when someone raises their voice, but he sleeps through the night now. And sometimes, when he doesn't think I'm looking, He laughs like a kid again. I don't miss war, but I understand it. Some battles don't end with surrender. They end with silence. And silence is exactly what she has now. She weaponized my absence, but never expected that I'd return with evidence instead of forgiveness.